Hi, and welcome back to our kitchen. Today you're going to be making dinner with me. I love this recipe. It's easy, it's cheap, it's low carb, and it's done cooking in half an hour. So what I'm going to do is a cheat sheet chicken honey balsamic vinegar cookie sheet or baking sheet. And we're going to, I have my oven heating to 400 degrees, and I'm going to show you how to make the marinade or dressing, however you want to look at it. So first of all, I've got my 4-cup measuring cup, and what I want to do is take my balsamic vinegar, and I'm using a little bit better balsamic vinegar than I was using before, only because it has a richer taste. But if that's all you have, that's what you use. So 1/3 cup balsamic vinegar. Then I'm going to take Italian dressing. Doesn't matter what brand. And 1/3 cup of that, which makes 2/3. Next I'm going to add honey. This is where the honey comes in, and I have sprayed my measuring spoon, my tablespoon measuring spoon, with the spray in a can, the oil spray, and I'm going to add, I think today I'm going to go 3 tablespoons. I think the last time I went 2. First time I made this, I put the chicken and the vegetables in at the same time, and that's what I had seen people do. And the chicken came out all tough because it was overcooked. Okay, because I put the oil on my spoon, the honey's running right off into the dish. Okay, next I'm going to add, if I can get there, sticky, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, I just got this handy dandy bottle, and what it does is it helps you regulate how much oil you put on things. So there's 2 tablespoons. Next I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. This is minced garlic I got out of the refrigerator. I usually mince fresh, but I didn't have time today. And there goes a tablespoon of garlic. Then, and I hope this is ingredients that you all have in your kitchen. I think I missed some garlic there. That's not good. Can't miss that garlic. So I got a teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning that goes into here. And then I have a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili flakes, a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now, sweet paprika is fine. And I'm going to start stirring this up. Next I want to add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And you might say, well, you put a lot of vinegar in there. But Dijon mustard seems to go in a lot of your salad dressings. And what it does is it helps emulsify the dressing. Whisk it up. That's it. Now I've got my chicken that I cut up. We're going to marinate this for a little bit. And I cut it into strips like this. This was 3 chicken breasts. And what I'm going to do is pour, I'm making a real mess, cameraman Paul. Pour maybe a 1/4 cup of our marinade. And we're going to seal it up. And I'm going to make sure it's covered. Make sure all those chicken pieces are covered with the marinade. And I'm going to sit that to the side. You do that before you do your vegetables. Now what makes this fun is you can take whatever you want out of your refrigerator that you have sitting there and use whatever vegetables you want. Today I voted on we're having broccoli, we're having red bell pepper, or in this case yellow, or I mean this is orange. That's what they had. I have one onion that I sliced up. We're having chopped up sweet potatoes. Now if you don't have a sharp knife, these are very hard to cut. So you might want to go with carrots or something that's softer. And of course you could put carrots in there. And next I have, surprise, surprise, red radishes. I think this is an underrated vegetable. Depends on where you grew up, whether you ever ate these things. Now I remember my dad eating them raw. But as a kid I wouldn't touch them because they had a taste to them that was it was burning to me. So I found out vegetables, when they're roasted, lose that heat. They get all nice and soft, and they have a lot of health benefits with them. So don't overlook these radishes. Try them out sometime. You'll be surprised. Okay, now I want to take a tablespoon of olive oil into my vegetables. And I want to take some of the marinade. Save a little for drizzling over the top when it's done. And let me mix it up. Now's when I want to salt. I want to salt the vegetables because, as you know, they have no salt in them. And I'm just going to take a nice pinch of kosher salt. And the dressing already has pepper in it. But if you like, you could sprinkle more pepper over it. I have a sheet pan. I love this sheet pan. Nice and big. And it doesn't bend in your oven. I love it. It's a commercial sheet pan. And I covered it with foil. And then I sprayed it with the oil spray. And I'm going to spread these vegetables, excuse me, out on the sheet. Get them all in there. Don't want any stragglers. Put them out on the sheet so that they're in a one layer. Trust me, you'll like this when it's done. Might want to put a little bit more oil on here because I noticed some of the broccoli is kind of dry. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven for 15 minutes and then we'll take it out and add the chicken. I'll be right back. 15 minutes, I'm going to go down the middle and make a little hole for the chicken. Just like that. Start putting my chicken in there. And I'm just going to nestle it in here in the vegetables. Make sure you separate them a little bit as much as you can. I'm going to have to make room for this chicken, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this. Just do it the best you can. It's not hard to do. Now I said 15 minutes at the beginning, but I think with the chicken, there's a couple thick pieces here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven for 20 minutes. Just use your judgment. And as always, get yourself a little meat thermometer in case you're in doubt. You don't want to serve people raw chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 20 minutes. And we'll be back. I'm back, and we took it out of the oven at 20 minutes. And I tested the chicken. I have a little thermometer that you can get cheap. I think they're less than 10 bucks. If you look around Target, Walmart. And it lets you know, especially if you're a new cook, how to test the temperature of your meat so you know it's done. Because that's the biggest question in my mind as I was learning how to cook. Is how do I know this stuff's done? So with the temperature gauge, you can go on Google and it'll give you the temperatures for certain meats. And with poultry, you need it to be 165 internal temperature. So what you do is you take it, you could do it while it's still in the oven before you pull it out, and you take your thickest piece of chicken and you stick it in the thickest part of that meat to check to see if it hits the internal temperature of 165. The reason I took some out is I need to taste it, and it'd be too hot if I left it in the pan. Okay, it's at 170, which is good. And I hope you have fun with this recipe. As I said before, you can do any vegetable that you want. You can put potatoes in it if you're not low carb. You can put all kinds of vegetables. And it's low carb. It's fun to make. It takes only a few, 20, 30, 45 minutes to make. And I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, I put my recipes at the bottom. Just go down to the description box where it says show more, and it'll drop right down and show you the recipes. I'll see you the next time, and please subscribe, push that bell, and I'll see you later. Bye.